Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affairs for Beginners. Before starting the session, first we'll see answers for the questions from our yesterday's video. The first question is, which among the following committee was established by the government to review the Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act? The answer is N.K. Singh Committee. It is C. The next question is, which among the following are benefits of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana? This is one of the components of Ayushman Bharat scheme. Now if we see these options, it covers only secondary and tertiary care hospitalization. This is correct because primary was being taken care by health and wellness centers, which is the first component of this Ayushman Bharat scheme. There is no upper limit on the family size and age in the mission. This is done because in order to make sure that nobody in the family is left out from the benefits of this scheme. The next one is, it also includes pre and post hospitalization expenses. Yes, eligible beneficiaries can avail services across India. This statement is also correct. So as all the four are correct, the answer here is D. Now let's start our today's session. Our first article is Without Maternity Benefits. This article comes under GS paper 2 under the topic of governance, and the subtopic is social welfare. From this article, we are going to see about two things. One is National Food Security Act and the other one is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. First, we'll see about this National Food Security Act. Our India has the largest number of hungry people in the world. Despite having various programs, the number of undernourished people today was still the same. Hunger is still has remained as the number one cause for death in the world. So to address these issues and to improve food security situation in India, National Food Security Act was promulgated in 2013. This act provides the coverage of up to 75% of rural population and up to 50% of urban population to receive subsidized food grains under targeted public distribution system. So under this scheme, the eligible person will be entitled to receive 5 kgs of food grains per person per month at the subsidized prices for different products. That is, rice will be received at 3 rupee per kg and wheat will be provided for 2 rupees and coarse grain will be provided for 1 rupee per kg. And to ensure food security of the poorest of the poor, the existing Antyodaya Anna Yojana households will receive 35 kgs of food grains per household per month. Here the pregnant and lactating mothers will receive nutritious take-home ration. That means ration will be given to their home of 600 calories and 18 to 20 grams of protein and a maternity benefit of at least 6,000 rupees for 6 months. And the children from 6 months to 14 years of age, they were allowed to receive free hot meals or take-home rations. The next one we'll see is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. We know that undernutrition affects a person so badly, and it is affecting majority of women in a worse manner. It is adversely affecting majority of women in India. In India, every third woman is undernourished and every second woman is anemic. That is, she is weak. An undernourished mother, she will obviously give birth to a low birth weight baby. When poor nutrition starts in the first stage, this will get extended throughout the life cycle. And these changes were irreversible most of the time. And because of their economic and social distress, most of the women, they continue to work to earn a living for their family starting from their pregnancy till the last days of their pregnancy, and they will resume working soon after the childbirth, even though their bodies might not permit from fully recovering and reducing their ability to breastfeed their young infant in the first 6 months. So to address all these issues, government has come up with a scheme known as Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. This is a maternity benefit program by the government. In our National Food Security Act also there is a maternity benefit program where 6,000 per month till 6 months will be provided to the lactating and pregnant women. In this program, the objective for launching this program is the pregnant women are not able to stop working because of their financial issues at home. So this program was launched with an objective to provide partial compensation for the wage loss in terms of a cash incentive, so that women can take adequate rest before and after the delivery of the first living child. And the cash incentive provided by the government, it will improve the health by providing nutritional support amongst this pregnant women and lactating mothers. If we say what are the incentives, we are saying that cash incentive will be provided to this pregnant woman. And what is that benefit? A cash incentive of 5,000 rupees will be provided in 3 installments. The first installment will be of 1,000 rupees on early registration of pregnancy at the Anganwadi center, and the next two will be of 2,000 each. The second installment will be provided after 6 months of pregnancy, and the third installment of 2,000 rupees will be given after the childbirth is registered. Now, who are all the targeted beneficiaries here? Is this scheme available to all the pregnant women and lactating mothers? No. All the pregnant women and lactating mothers except who are in regular employment, that is, who are the regular central government or state government employees or employees working in public sector undertakings. Except these people, rest of all the pregnant women and lactating mothers can avail the benefits of this scheme. So all the pregnant women, eligible pregnant women and lactating mothers who will have their pregnancy on or after January 1st of 2017 for the first child in the family were eligible under this scheme. Here we are saying that the beneficiary is eligible to receive benefits under this scheme only once, that too only for the first child. Then what about it in case of any miscarriage or stillbirth? In case of a miscarriage, the beneficiary is eligible to claim the remaining installments in the event of any future pregnancy. The next article is a very material shift. From this article, we are going to see two schemes. One is Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana and the other one is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. First, we'll see about Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana. These will come under GS paper 2 under the topic of governance, and the subtopic is social welfare. So first of all, what is this Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana? It is a scheme by Madhya Pradesh government to do cash transfers to the farmers who sell their produce below the minimum support price. Minimum support price is the price at which the government will purchase produce from the farmers at the price announced before sowing season. Along with this, we should know one more system which is known as price deficiency payment system. Under this system, the farmers will be compensated for the difference between the minimum support price and their actual market prices. This is known as price deficiency payment system. In case if the market prices are higher than the minimum support price, then the farmers will be compensated with the difference under this price deficiency payment system. So now, what is this Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana then? In Madhya Pradesh, the government has also announced minimum support price for 25 crops. But there the government mainly procures only wheat and rice under the public distribution system, that is PDS. So due to the government's inefficient and unorganized procurement system, farmers has to resort to sell their crop at the prices that were lower than minimum support price in the market, which is known as distress sale. Government has announced minimum support price, but government is not procuring this produce and the market prices were lower than this MSP. So farmers had no other option but to sell their produce at the prices lower than MSP in the market, which is known as distress sale. So to address all these loopholes and to ensure a reasonable price to the farmers, this Bhavantar Bhugtan Yojana was launched by the Madhya Pradesh government. Under this scheme, the farmer will be compensated with the difference between the minimum support price and the price at which farmer will sell his produce in the mandi. That price is known as modal price. How this modal price will be calculated? This will be calculated by taking the average price of a commodity. Let us take groundnut. Average price of this groundnut in Madhya Pradesh will be considered along with the price in two other states where this groundnut will be grown. Average price in two other states. By considering all these three states' average price, this model price will be calculated. And to avail the benefits of this scheme, farmers should get registered for the scheme and they should sell their produce at registered agricultural markets only, not to whomever they wish. And this project was launched only for 8 crops. Those crops are soyabean, groundnut, till, ram till, maize, moong, urad dal, tur dal. Now let us understand the scheme with the help of an example. Let us say that minimum support price for a crop called as maize is around 3000 rupees per quintal. This was announced by the government before sowing season. Now, a model price is calculated as 2500 rupees per quintal. Now, the farmer has sold his produce in the market at the price of 2600 rupees per quintal in a mandi. So, the government will pay 400 rupees directly into the account of that farmer. In case if the farmer has sold his produce at 2200 rupees only, then the government will transfer only 500 rupees per quintal of the produce sold, and this price is a difference between MSP and the model rate, which will be the maximum amount that government will give to the farmer. The next one is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. This scheme was launched in 2015 with an objective to provide affordable housing to both urban and rural poor. This scheme has two components. One is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban and the other one is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Rural, that is Gramin. The aim of this scheme is to construct more than 2 crore houses across the nation, and the target beneficiaries of this scheme are 3 people. One is economically weaker section, low income groups, and the other one is middle income group people. A person will be considered as an economically weaker section. He belongs to economically weaker section if his income is below 3 lakh rupee. The maximum limit is 3 lakhs. And a person is considered that he is belonged to low income group if his income is between 3 to 6 lakhs rupees. Whereas a middle income group will have an annual income of 6 to 18 lakh rupees. And the important things from this scheme are, here the government will provide subsidy ranging between 1 lakh to 2.3 lakh to the people from these categories in order to make them feel secured. And the government will also provide an interest subsidy also of 6.5% on all the housing loans availed by the beneficiaries for a period of 15 years from the start of a loan. And the houses under this Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana will be allotted preferably to the female member of the family. Next article is Central Bank Recap. This article comes under GS Paper 3 under the topic of Economy. From this article, we are going to see three things. One is NPA, non-performing asset, and the other one is Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, and the other one is Monetary Policy Committee. First, we have so many times seen about this NPA, non-performing assets. We have seen that an asset is something that is owned by the bank here. And here loan is also an asset by the bank because bank will receive deposits from its customers to which it will pay interest. And government will use these savings by the customers, the deposits by the customers, to lend loans to other customers at higher interest, which is a profit to the bank. That is why loans are considered as assets to the bank. If the customer fails to repay the loan within 90 days, or if he fails to repay the loan with interest in 90 days, then that loan is considered as a non-performing asset. Now let us see the next one. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. We have so many times seen about this also. This is being implemented by the Ministry of Finance. First of all, what is this Mudra stand for? Micro Units Development and Refinancing Agency. Micro Units Development and Refinancing Agency. This scheme was launched with an objective to fund the unfunded, and it will finance to the last mile financiers of small and micro businesses. Here the priority for lending under this bank is given to the SC and ST enterprises, for the enterprises that were belong to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So to implement the provisions of this scheme, a bank known as Mudra Bank was established. It is a statutory body to regulate and that is to control and finance all microfinance institutions who will lend to the micro, small and medium enterprises that were engaged in small manufacturing, trade or services. We have said that it is a refinancing agency, micro units development and refinance agency, and the objective of it is to fund the unfunded. So here what it is going to do is, it will fund the microfinance institutions who will give loans to the entrepreneurs who were involved in small manufacturing, trade or services. This Mudra Bank has classified the borrowers, that means to the people to whom it should lend, into three segments. One is starters, the second one is mid-stage finance seekers, and the third one is next level growth seekers. And to address these three segments, Mudra Bank has launched 3 loan instruments also. This starters will be provided with Shishu, and this Shishu instrument will cover loan up to 50,000 rupees, whereas Kishore will cover loans up to 5 lakh rupee from 50,000 to 5 lakh, whereas Tarun will cover loans above 5 lakh and up to 10 lakh rupees. Here, this bank will provide a loan at lower rates to the small entrepreneurs. The next one is Monetary Policy Committee. This is the committee which will decide India's monetary policy. It is Urjit Patel's committee which has recommended to set up this Monetary Policy Committee. This committee has suggested that monetary policy should be a rule-based monetary policy, but it shouldn't be discretion-based, because before this Monetary Policy Committee, the final decision on a monetary policy was with the RBI governor. So now, in order to remove this, saying that the final decision shouldn't lie with the RBI governor alone, but on a group of people, this committee was suggested to be set up. And it has also said that targeting inflation has to be the core objective of a central bank, and the central bank should be answerable to the lawmakers if it failed to achieve the target. Here what is important is the composition of this Monetary Policy Committee. This committee is composed of 6 members. 3 members are from RBI, and these 3 members will include governor, who is also an ex officio chairperson of the committee. Automatically the governor will become the chairman. And 3 members will be appointed by the central government. These members will be the experts in the field of finance or banking or economics or monetary policy. These people will have a tenure of 4 years and they were not allowed for reappointment. The members that were appointed by the government will be appointed based on the recommendations of a search cum selection committee, which will be headed by the cabinet secretary. Here the committee decisions will be taken by majority vote. Out of 6 people, if 4 members vote for a decision, then the decision will be approved. In case of a tie, that means 3 members have voted for it and 3 against it, then in this case the governor, who is the chairman of this Monetary Policy Committee, will enjoy a veto power to overrule this panel members, because he will have a casting vote, he will have a breaking vote in case of a tie, and no government official will be nominated to this Monetary Policy Committee. The next one is Dire Strait. This article comes under GS paper 2 under the topic of international relations. From this article, here we can see there is a sea named Azov Sea, and there is a strait named as Kerch Strait. Just note down the location of these. Here you can see this Azov Sea surrounded by Russia and Ukraine. That is, it is a sea in the Eastern Europe, and to the south it is linked by a narrow strait known as Strait of Kerch, and it is open to the Black Sea. Here we can see that the sea is bounded in the north and in the west by Ukraine, and in the east it is bounded by Russia. One thing that needs to be known about this Azov Sea is it is the shallowest sea in the world, and there is a constant outflow of river from this Sea of Azov into Black Sea. And the next one is, in this article there is mention of an organization known as NATO. What is this NATO? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It is an intergovernmental military alliance. It is not an economic or geopolitical alliance, but it is a military alliance between 29 North American and European countries. And this alliance is based on a treaty known as North Atlantic Treaty that was signed in 1949. So where is it headquartered? It is headquartered in Brussels of Belgium. This NATO system, it constitutes of collective defense, where its independent member states, all the member states, they agree for mutual defense. Under this collective defense, the independent members, they agree for mutual defense in response to attack by any external party. That means if any external party other than these member countries attack on any member country, then it is considered as an attack on all the member countries, and all the countries will come as a defense in response to that attack by an external party. The next article is Protectionism in US-Europe may hit engineering exports. This article comes under GS paper 3 under the topic of economy. From this article, we are going to see two things. One is generalized system of preferences, and the other one is what is meant by this anti-dumping duty. First, we will see generalized system of preferences. GSP, it is a preferential tariff system that is extended by developed countries, who are also known as preference giving countries or donor countries, to the developing countries, who are also known as preference receiving or beneficiary countries. So what is this system is about? Here there will be reduced tariffs or duty-free entry of eligible products that were being exported by these beneficiary countries to the markets of donor countries. That is the concept of generalized system of preferences. And who is following this is, it is the largest and oldest United States trade preference program. This is designed to promote economic development by allowing duty-free entry. That means there will be no import duty for thousands of products from beneficiary countries. These beneficiary countries were designated by US only. It will select who has to be benefited. Those designated beneficiary countries' products from both developing and developed countries will enjoy duty-free entry into the US market. Under this system, a lot of industrial and agricultural products that were originating from developing countries like India, they were given preferential access to US markets. In our India's case, GSP has enabled duty-free entry to lots of products like textiles, engineering, gems, jewelry, chemical products in the US market. If we see what are the benefits of this system to India means, our Indian exporters will get benefited indirectly, because through this benefit, the importer will enjoy reduced tariff or duty-free entry of our Indian product, and this removal of import duty on any Indian product will make it more competitive in the US, and it will help the new exporters to penetrate into the market and improve their profit margins by increasing their market share in the donor country, that is United States. The next one is anti-dumping duty. We can understand this anti-dumping duty with an example. Like if a country exports a product to any other country at a price lower than in its home country or below its manufacturing cost, then it is known as dumping. That means let us take China. For example, China is producing a pen at 10 rupees. And in its domestic market, this pen is sold at 10 rupees only. If China is importing these pens to India, and here if it sells that pen at 5 rupees, that means it is selling here at the price that is lower than in its home country, then it is called as dumping, because it will affect the domestic players. That means the Indian producers who are producing this pen and selling it at 10 rupees, it will affect these Indian players and it will lead to unfair competition. In this scenario, importing country, here our importing country is India and the exporter is China. So in these kind of situations, India can impose anti-dumping duty on the product, that is on these pens that are being exported by China to India to protect its domestic industry. This duty is imposed under the multilateral World Trade Organization regime only, and it keeps varying from product to product and from country to country. In India, anti-dumping duty is recommended by the Union Ministry of Commerce, and under this it is the Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties, while it is imposed by Union Finance Ministry. It is recommended by the Ministry of Commerce, and the department which recommends this is Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties, while it will be imposed by the Finance Ministry. The next one is interim budget to be presented on 1st February. From this article, now we are going to see about what is meant by this interim budget. Interim budget, in the practical sense, it is a full budget but made by the government during the last year of its term. Now this is the last year for BJP government, because next year we are having this election. So it is the last budget made by the government during the last year of its term, that is just before election. And this budget is a complete set of accounts including both expenditure and receipts. But this budget will not contain big policy proposals. One thing here we need to say is there is no legal or constitutional obligation on the ruling party to launch an interim budget during the election year. This is only an unwritten convention. Now let's see our today's questions. The first one is on interim budget and the second one is on Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Try to answer these questions. This is our Law Excellence website where you can access notes for this video, and this is our official Telegram channel in which you can access this video, notes and various other videos and material by Law Excellence. Thank you.